So I'm recording.
Yep. So yeah, my name is Vineet. I'm from India, Delhi. So I've been bottom in Delhi only, and currently I started my YouTube channel. Actually, I started 2 years back with a hope that because I wanted to learn English and I wanted to make English learn to more people. So and that's how it all started. But because I was working at a customer service, I was working in a BPO industry for the last 2 years. So this whole thing of YouTube started as a part-time job for me, and just to learn more English, and just to help other people as well, who are from non-English speaking background, just to help them with the better grammar, and just to how the things work. Helping them with the idioms, and that's how it all started. So I began in 2019 with that hope, and currently I have about 132 subscribers with me. So I'm just hoping, just to gain more subscribers and to help people with their spoken English. So that's how it all started. Currently, I'm working in a customer service department. I've been in this customer service profile for last 2 years. So currently, I'm working with at a full time over there. So that's how it all started for me. And
Excellent.
yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
So I'm Rochelle from Dreaming English, and I started also almost 2 years ago. It was
Mhm.
really an idea of my daughter, who is now 11, who wanted to have a YouTube channel. And I said we
Mhm.
could do it if it was educational. And we were studying Spanish at the time, but I didn't feel like I could teach Spanish because I'm not that fluent in Spanish. So we thought we could teach English. And we got the idea from another similar channel and have been doing it for 2 years. And it's I do work full time as you do, so it's kind of a
Mhm.
hobby for me. I'd love to grow the channel, and I've really enjoyed doing it. I think it's given me something else to do during the pandemic, as I'm working from home right now. Still, I work as a well, I'm kind of like a teacher. I advise students in a high school and help them apply to college and help them apply to get financing from the government and from the colleges for their college education. So that's my full-time job. And this has given me something to do when, I'm not usually, I was driving my kids around all the time. So during the pandemic, I haven't been doing that. So it's been enjoyable. And similar, like I know you've done some videos on idioms. That's one of the things that I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll make some videos on different kinds of idioms, because I think that's like an interesting and something that's hard for people to understand if they're not a native speaker. So yeah. So can you want to tell me about how your channel and how you teach English on the channel?
Actually, the main motto of my channel is to help people who are preparing for IELTS exam.
Mm-hmm.
So because I've given IELTS 4 times in my life, so I know that what are the I know that exam inside out, how the problems and struggles are there for people who are going to appear for that particular exam, because that's something that really helps people who want to migrate to English speaking countries like US or Australia or even to Canada. So my main motto was to help people preparing for IELTS. So often I just if you have gone through if you have gone through my channel, or if anyone might want to visit my channel, they might see that I often share the writing tasks for IELTS, because there are certain sections in IELTS. One is speaking and another is reading and writing. I haven't started with the reading one yet, because that's something that is because I haven't been that much in particular. I haven't scored that much. I haven't scored that much good in reading, but most of the videos are often regarding the writing sections and the speaking sections. So I often share the idioms and slangs as well, because I do have a knack for idioms and slangs. I often like, because that's something that is being used by native speakers as an informal language. So because and it also pays off if you often go to that English speaking country, and you must know how native people speak in their day-to-day life. They use idioms, they use slangs, so that often helps you, if you're coming from not non-native English speaking background. So I often share the videos. So I mean, it's not that it's just that I've started the thing. I just want to make it grow, and
Yeah.
it eventually, I mean the people would just see my channel, and eventually it would grow. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the right time to. Oh, I have to just put in the videos and help people as more as I can,
Yeah.
and let's see how it goes.
Yeah. I just actually learned, I had another conversation with somebody, um, and I'll be posting that video soon, that is from India. And he started, I think he started his channel like 3 months ago, and he has over 1,000 subscribers already. And I was like, wow, that took me like a year and a half. And he said, well, what have you been doing? And I said, well, I've been sharing my videos here, there, and elsewhere. And he said, well, Rochelle, that's really not what you do. You make content, and you need to be patient. You need to make really good content and put descriptions and whatnot, and don't share it. Other people need to share it. Other people need to find you on YouTube. So I'm trying to be patient and listen, and I think it's working. I've only like done this for a week after I spoke to him, so we'll see how it goes. But I think one of the things I noticed from the last video that I posted, without sharing it in WhatsApp groups and without sharing it in different places, is that my watch time is better, like how long people are staying on the video, which is what is important. And I might not have as many views, but my watch time is like the best it's ever been. So that's something that I'm trying. I'm like, well, I don't have anything to lose, because apparently this person's doing that, and they went from having 0 subscribers to 1,000 in 3 months, doing kind of the same thing, just putting out videos and having them be found by putting out some really good content. So I'm like, okay. And so that's what I'm trying now. And yeah, so.
Yes, so actually, I've also gone through your videos, and I found out that you use very unique technique, of
Yeah.
teaching English. Yeah, you have been putting up the videos for idioms and slangs, and you use a very unique techniques to help people. So
Yeah.
can you just
Yeah,
brief?
so what that
Can
is
you?
called, it's the idea is called comprehensible input method. And I think it was I think there was a Harvard professor or some professor that kind of like spoke and did a lot of writing on this, like back in the 1970s. And the idea is to just make content that is very easy to understand, using drawings and using hand gestures, like the boy spoke, or I'm looking at you and stuff, and drawing the different things to make it easy. So if you didn't understand any English, that you could watch one of those super beginner ones and you would understand what I was talking about. So I got the idea from somebody doing videos like that in Spanish. And I thought, my daughter and I thought, and she loves to draw, if you have ever seen any of the videos with her, and she's actually very good. And we thought we could do something like that. So the idea is just to make things that are easy and not teach grammar. I understand you're teaching grammar because you're helping people prepare for the exam, right? I think that's
Yeah, actually, most of my videos most of the videos which I put up in my channel are mostly related to idioms and slangs.
Oh, okay, idioms and
And
slangs.
so that the people who are preparing for the spoken English, they might be, it might be easy for them to just to connect to the native speakers.
Okay.
And also, yeah. And another videos which I often put up on my channel is the writing task, because I found that I found out that writing is something that is not I mean, most people don't find good scores in writing when once they go for the exam. So they often have this feeling that they might not score 7 band or 8 band, and without scoring good bands in writing, it's very impossible for them to migrate to English speaking countries, because there's a requirement of getting 8,777. I mean, listening is something that most people might find it easy, because there's a lot of material that of listening. There's a lot of shows of HBO, and there's and nowadays there's Facebook, so there's a lot of connectivity. People might see the shows and the channels as well. so it will be easier for them to practice listening. But for writing and also speaking is something that's very hard to to get the material. So that's how my main motto is to just to bring more writing videos
Okay.
and to yeah, so that I can help them in speaking spoken English and writing as well.
Okay.
Reading is something which I wanted to put up more videos, but I'm not sure about the reading part, because each individual has got their own
Hmm.
pros and cons as far as reading is concerned. They have got their own strength and weakness, and
Hmm.
reading something which the individual has to put up his or her own hard work. Without
Yeah.
reading, I mean, even the examiner can't help the person, he or she, because if he or she is not putting up the efforts to do the reading is something that is very natural. It's you have
Yeah.
to put up your own work. The examiner can't help you. And even the more videos, I mean, it actually depends on the individual, how his or her reading skills are. So
Yeah. I've
but
actually read a lot about, it's actually like somebody that wrote a book in English, and it's about just the how people get better at reading. I think it's called the Read Aloud Handbook. And one of the things he said is that people get better at reading not by filling out worksheets and not by not by writing, but they get better at reading by reading. And one of the things he said was that actually people in Finland, they really love watching television, and they like to watch a lot of American television. So the only way that they can watch it is if they can watch it with the subtitles, because they can't understand the English. So they get really fast at reading because they want to consume all of this American television. So one of the things he's really talking about, how to help your children be better readers. So he said, if your children are watching television, anytime that it's on, have the subtitles on. And just to be exposed again and again. And so I kind of think teaching reading on YouTube might not make so much sense, except to just encourage people to have the subtitles on. I end up just using the YouTube subtitles. They're good enough. I use them when I'm trying to study Spanish, and I always have them on. And I always have them on, like when I'm trying to study Spanish, I always have them on in Spanish, not in English, because it's not going to help me to read a different language. If I'm trying to, the target language is Spanish, then I'm going to listen in Spanish and I'm going to watch the subtitles in Spanish. And I would say that would be the best thing to really focus on for reading. I'm not an expert. I do work in a school, but I'm not a teacher. I'm not an English teacher, but that's just my humble opinion. And from the idea of being a better reader, and then to get back to the idea of the comprehensible input, is just really trying to teach people how they learn naturally their own native language. Like babies don't learn grammar. They learn by listening and watching and getting the context. So that's really the idea of the videos that I'm making, is just trying to make it very, very easy to understand.
yeah, definitely you have made a very valid point that one has to just keep the grammar aside when he or she is speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Because once if you want to become a fluent speaker, you have to just put that grammar side.
Right.
I mean beside you. It's not that you have to just once you are speaking English, you have to just speak whatever words comes out of your mouth.
Right.
It's not that you have to just think of the grammar tenses
And you
once you are
don't,
speaking,
exactly.
because that will not help eventually.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I've seen couple of videos on YouTube, and I've also been part of the Quora community. So that's the website that helps people who share their experiences.
Okay.
So I've read a couple of articles, and I've also come up to this conclusion that if you have to become fluent in English, for any speakers whose English is not their native language, they just need to speak English. I mean, they have to read out the sentences loud. They have to stand in front of the mirror
Yeah.
in order to improve the English. And the more they will speak in English, I mean, they will be better. They will be getting better at it. So
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, I know you have to open up your mouth. You have to speak. And that's the best practice that you can get. And once you just put this fear away, that whatever mistakes you are doing while speaking, once you put that fear away, even if you are speaking with the native speakers, eventually you will get better at English. Eventually. So that's
Absolutely.
how the things work. You have to put that fear away. So that's the right, that's the eventually the final conclusion for me, that you have to speak up. You have to put that fear away of speaking English. Even if you are making mistakes, it's okay, but you have to
Mhm.
pretend that you know English as as a native speaker.
Absolutely.
And and you have to learn the phrases, and whatever the phrases are there, idioms are there. Watch shows, watch movies, and once you just watch movies, the it's easy to learn any language. I think you can learn languages by seeing the songs.
Hmm.
Recently I was just trying to listen to the French song. So I think there's a singer of in France. Her name is Adelia, I guess Adelia.
Okay.
So she's a famous singer. So I was just browsing YouTube, and I just wanted to learn French. So I just got just scrolling down, and I found out that I just found out her song, and her song has billions of subscribers and views. So I just thought that why not just go for it, and I just started listening to her song.
Nice. Nice.
And to my surprise, the song was very fantabulous. Yeah, the music was really her music was really was so much catchy. The
Hmm.
lyrics were so much catchy. So eventually, I felt that once you can just go through the lyrics, and because in most of the songs the people use right grammar, right phrases,
Oh
so you
yes,
can also
absolutely.
learn a particular language by listening to songs as well, even if it's English. So you can learn English, you can learn any language by listening to songs. So that's the best way also.
Yeah.
It's not that you have to just
Hmm.
go to the professional way of learning a particular language by reading books, or by listening to news channels, or anything. By listening to, you can also, in order to learn formal language, you have to just connect with the native speakers. And the better way is also be by listening to songs, by listening to the radios channels. I think most of the slang terms often being used on radios.
Hmm.
They are often being used on televisions. They are often being used on the songs as well. So that's how you can learn more vocabulary, and you can also enhance your overall English skills. So that's the best way also.
Yeah. Those are
Yeah.
good ideas. Well, I enjoyed talking to you, and I'm definitely open to doing this again in the future if you'd like. Um,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
So I would also like to know that your have channels have got very special technique of teaching in English using drawings as well. So beside that, what sort of other features are there in your channel so that people might get attracted to, what's the basic reason apart from drawings and all that? What sort of things you might think that this is the main, USP of my channel apart from
Yeah.
drawings, and so that
I
people
mean,
might
I
get
I
attracted.
think just trying to make it very easy, very easy and very understandable. I try to make different levels.
Hmm.
So the ones with the drawings and a lot of pictures and stuff are like the very beginner ones. But I'll also try to do things on location. Like I'll try to go to a place and kind of talk about something and point to it. And I'll insert a lot of pictures too in case something is like a different word that they might not understand. So
Hmm.
I'll try to insert some pictures so that will be a way for them to understand. And in addition, like maybe if I say something, but then to try to describe what that means. So just to really make them make it easy. But another thing I would say is that because my channel is made with my daughter, that I want my channel to be something that any age can enjoy. I I want to make sure that there's interesting things that you can watch with your kids, or that if you're older that you're not going to find that it's boring. So just different content. We've done stuff with science. We've done things on seasons or holidays, and just all kinds of different content to just try to make it interesting. So there's something for everyone. Um, yeah, so that's my idea, and I like that too, because if there's anything I'm interested in, like my son's in robotics, I'll make a video about robotics, because and maybe somebody's interested in robotics and they'll watch it. So that's, I guess the idea is like to have things that are very easy to understand but also have a wide variety of things, and that allows me to, I think, make videos about all kinds of interests that either myself or my daughter have, instead of like, say you're just making a travel, like say your website or your YouTube channel is just on travel, then that's what you're focusing on. But instead I can make videos about travel. I can make videos about cooking, like we've done a lot of cooking stuff, right? Because we like to cook, we like to bake.
That's
So
very,
I guess,
I think that's a very great USP, I think, because whatever you are doing, you are also bringing that English element into it, into your
yeah,
videos.
yeah,
Yeah, so I think that's very great idea. So
yeah,
I mean, you can do your day-to-day work, and you can also bring the English element to it. You know, if you're
yeah.
going to traveling, you can also include the traveling vocabulary. You can
Hmm.
also, teach the idioms related to traveling. So I think that's a very great way
Yeah.
to just connect to the audience.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's
So
like there's the world of different topics, and I won't run out
yeah.
because it's a topic
Mhm.
about anything and everything. So yeah,
Yeah, that's very great. Yeah.
yeah.
So, in fact, apart from this, do you also teach Spanish as well in your
So
channels?
I don't teach Spanish, but I did have like actually a video that I just posted today. I do idioms about hands, right? So like hands down, or I'm trying to think of the different idioms that I used. But the book that I used to find the idioms was my book in college, which is 2001 English and Spanish idioms. So then I decided to also say them in Spanish. And then I said, any of my Spanish speakers, let me know how my pronunciation is. So I'm waiting to hear. I'm not sure that it's as good as it should be, but I don't teach Spanish, but I do sometimes speak Spanish in the videos. Just, I think it might be fun I do have viewers in Venezuela and Spain and Mexico and different Spanish speaking countries that it might be fun for them to hear me try to speak Spanish.
Yeah, because as far as I'm concerned, because most of the subscribers which I've got on my channel are mostly the Uber drivers. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
who wanted to learn English. So I mean, that's something was too much surprising for me when I started my channel, because I wanted to I mean target a particular audience for the IELTS exam. I
Yeah,
mean, the main motto was to help the IELTS community, whomsoever wants
yeah,
to give the exam. And then I thought that because IELTS community, because the pandemic hit and the people who are going from India to overseas, I mean, the number has seen a big drop
right.
in the last year. So then I thought that why not teach English to everyone? I
Yeah,
mean, language doesn't. I mean, in English is a very global language, and everyone deserves to learn English. And then
right.
I thought that why not, start with basic, idioms and slangs as well, so that it will help people connect more to Western world. And then I found out that people who are drivers, they have subscribed, they wanted to learn English, and because they have that desire, they wanted to learn English. Then eventually, some of my subscribers were from Thailand, some of
Hmm.
them were from Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela. So I have also touched certain subscribers as well, but I also would like to reach as far as I go. I wanted
Yeah,
to cover as much population as possible, and as much
yeah,
people as possible, so that it will help people learn English. And most of the idioms, is not that I'm a teacher as well. I'm also a student. But I would like to learn English more, and that's how this thing just came to my mind, and
yeah,
I started a channel that I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people not as a teacher but as a student, because I've been to their shoes. I know
yeah,
what the certain problem and struggles the student faces, or any particular person faces when he or she is learning English. So
absolutely.
I can help them, because I've been to their shoes. I know how the things work. So whatever material I'm just sharing on my channels is I've been searching on the internet. I mean,
Yeah,
to
me
be really
too.
honest,
I have
yeah,
done that as well. I search online
yeah,
for some of
because
it.
most of the slangs which I've shared on my channel, I've searched it on the on a particular website. Say if I'm searching for some Australian slangs, I have to just go up on the Google for the Australian websites. I've
Hmm.
referred about the dictionaries. I've used their dictionaries. What are the most common ones, and what are the certain YouTubers who I like from Australia or New Zealand? I just put up their slangs, and and then I just
Hmm.
share it on my channel, so that most of the Indian population then learn, and they might just get to know what sort of slangs they are using, so that sometimes if they in future, if they go to Australia or they go to New Zealand, or if they apply for some certain exams, it might be helpful. It might be helpful for them. So that's my idea, just to go deeper into the Western, into the English language, what sort of slangs they are used, what sort of idioms they are used, how one can improve spoken English. So that's my whole idea, just to search more about English
Hmm.
language, how I can help people, just to get a better speaker, just to become a better speaker. So that's my whole idea, just to cover as much as possible. I know I know that it's only the beginning, because
It is,
because
yeah.
as I said, I just don't make videos very often, because I'm working. So this is
Right.
just my part-time job. So I would like to put up more videos. I mean, in just coming future.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see more videos put up. I mean, I will putting up more videos in just near, say 14 days time, or 15
Nice.
days time. I will putting
That's
more
nice.
videos. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's my
Yeah.
whole idea.
I think when I started, because I was studying Spanish, I was thinking I would focus on Spanish speakers. The channel that I based mine on was somebody speaking Spanish, teaching English, and he named his channel like Dreaming Spanish. I decided to name mine Dreaming English because I didn't want, like, if I said like Sueña Inglés, right? Then which means like dreaming English in Spanish, then I'm really just going to be reaching out to Spanish speakers. So I decided I'm just going to name it in English. And at first, it was a lot of people from Spanish speaking countries because I was friends with them trying to practice Spanish and stuff. But now my biggest population is from India right now. And then it seems to be like the other, like Bangladesh and Pakistan and all these countries over in the other side of the world, which surprised me very much. And I too want to just reach as many people as I can around the world. And it's always interesting to see a new country pop up in the analytics that YouTube gives you. So
Mhm. Yeah, I think yeah, I think it's very right way to just approach to new markets.
yeah,
And I think South Asia is one of the it's a kind of epicenter of
yeah,
someone, of someone who wants to teach English, because I mean English is a kind of an official language. I mean in South Asia, whether
yeah,
you talk about
absolutely,
India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal. I mean
yeah,
all of them love English. They use English in their day-to-day life,
yeah,
because as I said, it's a part of the British colony in the
right, it's
past.
absolutely.
So it's a kind of an official language. It's a kind of a link language for us,
Hmm.
especially because I'm from India. So I know that it's very useful language. I mean, I can't communicate with someone from my own country, because they don't speak Hindi or any local language, or they might not understand Tamil or any sort of other language. So English is a link language, which
Oh
has
yeah,
been
makes
used,
sense,
which has
makes
been used
sense.
in India and Pakistan, I think. So I think it's a very popular language, and it's a kind of global language. I think it's
Yeah,
been English is it has got a very amazing reach to, and to even connect with anyone who is from far away in Chile, or in far away
hmm,
in South Pacific Islands. So I think it's a global language. It has got the reach, and it has got the power and strength to just connect with anyone. And
absolutely,
it's one of the languages which has been used in any continent. It's been used, and I mean in all six continents. So
yeah.
it's a global language. So I think South Asia is a very big market.
Yeah, so I
You
guess
can
I
explore it.
shouldn't have surprised me, but it did surprise me at first when I saw like India was like the number one, when I really thought I would have more people from Mexico and such. But it's been interesting, and I've now had multiple conversations, and I plan to have more conversations with people from India, which is very interesting to speak to people on the other side of the world. So it's definitely been interesting again.
Yeah, yeah, same here. Yeah,
So
it's been an on and pleasure and honor to to have a conversation from native speakers.
yeah,
And I've been watching your channel. You have been doing a very great job,
thank you,
in
thank you.
order to teach people English. So I mean, it's it was a great experience. So I mean, it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And you too. So, like I said, I enjoyed the conversation and would look
Same.
forward to doing it again in the future. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording.